For years, I would literally wake up and have no agenda, no plan, no vision, and I definitely had no shame about it either. Now that I've taken full responsibility over my life, it's wild how the mornings really set a tone for your day. And not only that, they set a tone for your entire life. 3 months ago, I switched up my morning routine, did a few little tweaks, and here we are. 90 days later, I have 4x to my Google AdSense income. I've gained over 120,000 new subscribers. I've hired 4 people. I've literally become like some sort of little CEO type of guy. And that's not including my business partner who works with me on Shavu, my hair brand, and all the people we work with on that. It's crazy how your life can literally change within just a few weeks, few months, just by making a few little adjustments and being consistent, focusing on your effort and your attitude and just letting the results take care of themselves. So let's kick this thing off with number 1, getting in a low carb breakfast. Now, I'm not an advocate for the low carb diet or anything like that. I hate those kinds of diet trends and fads. However, waking up and focusing on high protein, high fat, monounsaturated fat to be exact, I think it's the best way to start your mornings. When you're eating heavy carb meals, what does it do? It makes you feel tired, it makes you feel sluggish, right? So my motto has always kind of been earn your carbs. So eating lighter foods in the mornings that are high in protein, high in fat, not only will this give you just a lot more energy throughout your day, but it'll also accelerate muscle growth. And then as each meal goes on throughout my day, I start implementing a little more carbs. This way, when I eat that last meal at the end of my day that's a little more heavier in carbs, number 1, I get to go to bed nice and full. And number 2, if it makes me feel sluggish at all, I mean, cool, it's time for bed anyways. So first thing in the morning, something I think I learned from Hamza was get in that protein shake ASAP. Think about it, you just spent 8 to 12 hours without any food and without anything supplying your muscles and helping them recover. So that's where that protein shake really comes into play. So this really sets a tone. I mean, think about it, bro. If I woke up in the morning and had a nice big pink box donut with like white frosting and sprinkles on top, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be good, but hey, you know how hard it's gonna be to get back on track and get back to eating boring grilled chicken and white rice for that day? I'm gonna be jacked, bro. There's no way I'm gonna go back to eating like that. I'm not gonna do it, but by hitting those protein goals in the morning and staying on my diet, it's gonna set me off on the right foot and help me keep that momentum going for the rest of my day. Number 2, break a sweat. Even if it's just a single drop. That's the mission. That's the morning mission. And I always prefer to do this after my first protein shake of the day. I remember earlier this year, I was doing a lot of running. Some of you guys saw it on my Instagram. But I would go out running pretty much on an empty stomach, telling myself, I need to earn my breakfast, right? But by doing that and thinking I needed to like achieve that, I actually ended up losing a lot of muscle this way. I got really skinny, so I like to get in the protein shake first now and let that kind of digest a little bit, then get on my cardio. And I'll literally only do it for like 10 minutes. This isn't like my official workout of the day or anything like that. It's just to get the blood flow going, burn some calories, stay lean, and release those happy endorphins. Yes, that's a scientifically proven thing, and yes, you'll actually end up having more energy throughout your entire day. So that 10-minute little investment of cardio plus the low carb breakfast, those two right there, that is a 1-2 punch, and it has ample benefits. Bro, if I just woke up every morning, had 2 big old bowls of Captain Crunch, had some toast, maybe a pastry, and then I was sitting there for the first hour of my day just scrolling on TikTok, you really think I'm gonna be just pumped up, ready to take on the world after that? Nope. Number 3, fill in the gap. Back about 10 years ago when I used to do CrossFit, my coach used to have us, every single workout, he would have us implement a 15-minute EMOM, which means every minute on the minute, of whatever skill that we wanted to improve on. And so I started to implement that same strategy in my own life. So between that hour where you wake up, you get ready, you do some cardio, have some breakfast, whatever, and the time that you actually go to work or go to school, that gap in between those two things, those two events, it needs to be filled up. You need to be working on something or creating something or building something. I think First Man teaches this, but having some sort of hobby, maybe some side hustle that you're constantly progressing in every single day, is crucial. And you know how the saying goes, you need a why. What's your why? Why you wake up every morning? Well, this can be that. This can be your why, and this can be that kind of motivating factor that gets you up out of bed every morning. Right now, my little source of motivation is waking up at 7 a.m. every morning, making sure these videos are out, because I know I gotta grow this channel, right? And by being consistent in this over the last few months, I mean, you guys have seen it. You guys have seen the momentum. You've seen me catch this new rhythm, right? And this leads me into number 4, getting into a flow state. Now, a flow state is when you are deep, heavy into your work. It's when things are quiet, there's no distractions. For me, it's when I'm, scripting videos and I just got ideas just coming left and right. But that flow state is never fun in the first 5-10 minutes. It's always the worst. You're sitting there trying to come up with ideas. You're constantly tempted to check your phone, check your Instagram. You're grabbing snacks. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he has to write that 800-word essay and he just keeps procrastinating all night. And he takes a pencil and he's sitting there and he's like, come on, pencil, make words. But once you break through that barrier right there, once you do that, it's on skis. And then you get into that flow state. And then from there on out, it's just a motivation loop. But the only way to get into that motivation loop, that flow state, you just have to jump in it. That's it. There's really no beginning. Like when I was scripting this video here right now yesterday, this one right here literally took me forever. I had just got through scripting an entirely different video. And I knew in my head, my goal for that day yesterday was to write 2 scripts. And I didn't feel like it once I got to the second one. So before I started, I stopped. I got an energy drink, ordered some Panda Express on DoorDash, and I was sitting there on my laptop, eating it, watching some Kenan and Kel on Netflix, and I was just horsing around, bro. But there came to a point where I was finally like, all right, no, we gotta get this done. So I exited Netflix, put my phone away, and started scripting. I just went for it. And check this out. This happens almost every time. For the first 5 to 10 minutes, everything I'm writing usually is just crap. It's just whack. And I know in my head it's not very good, but I also know that, hey, I'm just warming things up right now. I'm revving up the machine, steadily getting into that flow state, right? Catching my rhythm. And then all of a sudden, I'm just pumping out ideas, pumping out all these new concepts and things I want to say. But hey, look, just being honest, being real with you guys, there's never one moment where I just feel super pumped and stoked to write a script, right? I mean, there's times where I ad-lib and just kind of freestyle videos, but I mostly do that for my second channel, kind of my unfiltered stuff. But most of the time here on this channel, it's usually scripted. Like even what I'm saying right now, I scripted to say this because YouTube has its certain specific algorithm. I got to make sure I have a good steady pace. I got to have that hook in the beginning, make sure everything's on time, and I just got to make sure everything's thought out and I'm continuing to engage with you guys and keep up the retention, or the videos just won't perform well. But anyways, hey, look, scripting it's intense. It can take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours just to script one single video, maybe even a little more, just depending on what type of video it is and how much research I need to do. So it's a little intimidating. It's like looking at a huge block of stone and knowing I gotta chip away. But hey, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You can't look at the thing as a whole. You just gotta start chipping away at it. You gotta focus on, okay, what's the first step? What's the first little thing I need to do? Let's just focus on that. Let's just get that little job finished. And then once you get there, it's like, all right, okay, what's the next thing and the next? I remember back in CrossFit when you would see a WOD, a workout of the day written on the board, you look at this thing and be like, my gosh, bro, I gotta do all this work? This is gonna be intense, bro. How am I gonna get through all this? So we'd have to tell ourselves things like, okay, well, if I just focus on those box jumps, just get those out of the way, hey, everything from there on out is just pretty much downhill from there. Or you think to yourself like, okay, I just need to focus on that first mile. Once I get that done, I can start doing the pull-ups in reps of 10, and I can take little breaks in between. It's not too bad. So you got to kind of trick out your brain and make yourself think like, okay, yeah, just do a little bit here, a little bit there. That's doable. And then all of a sudden you're drenched in sweat and you realize, oh, hey, workout's done. Mission complete. And you trip and you look back at the board and you're like, dang, bro, I did all that. Let's go. So you got to apply that same method, that same way of thinking to your work ethic. Whatever it is that you want to start doing and putting your hands to, you got to just chip away at it one step at a time. Number 5. All right, now let's go ahead and revert back to when the alarm clock first goes off in the morning. I saved this tip for number 5 because I was just kind of scared. Most YouTuber influencers and motivational gurus would slap me upside the head for this, but is what it is. I'm one of those guys who wakes up and goes straight to their phones. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try and act like I'm something I'm not. I just feel like it legit helps get my mind going, helps wake me up a lot quicker. And besides that, I also, like I said, I'm trying to get out these videos. That's the first thing I do in the morning, get it out and kind of just see how it's doing, check the comments out, things like that. But once I'm done with that only takes me a few minutes. Once I'm done with that, one thing I refrain from doing is hopping onto TikTok and just start swiping away, watching all those stupid, silly videos. I remember when I was younger, someone once told me, before you let the world in, let a good word in. So when I wake up and I get my video out and stuff like that, I usually always hop onto my Bible app. And this honestly gives me that little spike of dopamine. That's kind of what helps get me up in the morning, because every day there's a new video, a new message, something new for me to learn. There's always something new to look forward to, and this isn't a sponsor or anything like that. I just really love the Bible app. It helps me grow, helps me wake up in the mornings, gives me that little source of motivation, and kind of gives me that foundation for the rest of my day. Number 6, gratitude. Sounds hella cheesy, and it is, but it's those cheesy things that usually always make a difference. Growing up, my mom, she always had me doing every single day. She'd have me do 5 thankful thoughts for the day on the way to school. And if we carpooled with other kids, she'd even have them doing it too. And I'd be so embarrassed, bro. I'd just be sitting there in the front seat, just like, oh gosh. But hey, I never stopped doing it, even to this day. It's so true, bro. Gratitude, it sets a tone. Don't underestimate the power of gratitude. That positive energy, it's infectious too. People love a dude who is just full of gratitude. I have a new friend in my own life. His name's Ty, and this dude is just so bright, so positive, and so full of gratitude. He always goes out of his way to make me feel appreciated, and it's like, why wouldn't I have this dude as a best friend in my own life? Gratitude is just so refreshing, and it makes life so much more enjoyable. And because I'm so grateful, my life is just literally perfect. I think to myself, like, how could things even get any better? There's just no way. Number 7, starting the day calmly. Now, the world we live in, we think there's great power found in speeding up, just going, hustle, right? Which, hey, there's truth in that. However, what we fail to realize is how much power is found in slowing down as well. Your mind, especially as a man, it needs peace. Peace is essential for a man to be effective and to remain effective. Hustle culture is cool, but you can't be a straight hustler efficiently without first having peace of mind. Our days are filled with a lot of noise, right? Everything's trying to grasp for our attention. It's like the story of Odysseus and the sirens. Those sirens are constantly calling our name, singing those beautiful songs, trying to get our attention, trying to reel us in. It's like a drug, right? But we got to realize God didn't intend for our minds just to constantly run rampant. No, what's it say in Scripture? He gave us a sound mind. And most of us, let's just be real, most of us are drowning in all the noise. We constantly have our music on blast. We're constantly immersed into social media. We're always on the go. I mean, no wonder more and more men have become just emotionally unstable. These days, we don't even know what it's like to experience quietness and stillness because we're so constantly distracted at all times. Once you as a man, once you learn how to slow down, your life will then paradoxically it'll start to speed up. You'll gain that momentum. It's like the story of Jesus when he went into the wilderness for 40 days before he started his ministry, right? That time of quietness and stillness, it prepared him. It prepared him for the attacks from the enemy, from all the temptations. So creating a healthy spiritual rhythm every single day, It's going to help you do the same. At the end of the day, you can't hear from God if your spiritual rhythm is off. And you do that by slowing down and tuning into Him. And number 8, simply exhaust yourself. Whatever you're doing on a daily basis, do it to the best of your ability. Go all out. Give it 110. How you do anything is how you do everything. It says in the book of Luke, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. So look, you really want to progress in life, you really want to gain some momentum, go all out in the little things. Yes, the little things matter, you guys. How are you going to be able to do the big things in life if you can't even do the small little things that God has entrusted you with? And essentially, that's the whole concept of getting 1% better each and every day. By doing the little infinitesimal things with heart. Because even though it's small, don't underestimate its value. Those little small things, they add up one by one each and every day. I've also heard it said a while ago, if you're depressed, it could potentially be just an inconsistency of good habits. Same thing with failed marriages and failed relationships. Sometimes it's just an inconsistency of good little habits. You forget doing just little kind gestures. You forget about doing all the little minute things that made that person feel special, made them feel appreciated. So with that said, consistency is key. Master it. Get consistent at doing the little good habits. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Hit the notifications button to be informed when I drop my next video. And check out this one right here. This one right here will take your life to that next level. It's a powerful one. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And I'll see you next time. Peace always.